There are vegetables in this world you plant once and never plant again. Asparagus for 25 years. Rhubarb for 2 decades. Some that quietly feed a family for longer than most people own their home. No replanting, no annual seed bill, no starting over every spring. They're not rare, not exotic, not difficult. You've eaten most of them. And yet almost no one grows them, because no one ever told them these vegetables come back on their own. Let me explain why that gap exists, because once you understand it, the whole way you garden can change. Almost everyone learns the same lesson about vegetables. They're annuals. You plant in spring, you harvest in summer, the plant dies in fall, and next year you do the entire thing over again. Buy the seeds, start the seedlings, prep the beds, plant, tend, harvest, clear out, repeat. Forever. It's a treadmill, and most gardeners never question it because it's the only model they've ever been shown. But there's an entire category of vegetables that doesn't work that way at all. They behave like fruit trees. You plant them once, they sink down a permanent root system, and they come back every single year on their own. Bigger and more productive as they mature, not weaker. Some produce for 5 years, some for 10. A few keep going for 25 years or more from a single planting. You're not buying a season of food. You're making one investment that pays you back for a decade or two. And here's the part that surprises people most. These aren't obscure plants you have to source from some specialty catalog. Most of them are vegetables you already know, already eat, already buy at the store. You just never knew you could plant them once and stop the annual replanting circus entirely. The reason almost nobody grows them comes down to 2 things. First, they're simply not what gets sold to you. There's no repeat business in a plant you buy once and harvest from for 20 years, so the garden industry doesn't push them. Second, most of them ask for a little patience up front. They take a year or 2 to establish before they hit full production. In a world of instant tomatoes, that wait scares people off. But that wait is exactly what buys you the next 2 decades of harvests. A little patience now, a lot of food later. So let me walk you through them. Not as a numbered list to memorize, but grouped by the job they do in your garden, so you can pick the ones that actually fit your space and your needs. Let's start with the heavy hitters, the long-term investments. The plants you put in once and harvest from for the better part of a lifetime. At the top of that list is asparagus. This is the champion of perennial vegetables, full stop. Plant asparagus crowns once, and a well-tended bed will produce for 20 to 25 years. But asparagus demands the patience I just mentioned more than any other plant here. The first year, you harvest nothing. You let it build its root system. The second year, you take only a little. By the third year, you're cutting fresh spears every spring, and you'll keep cutting them for the next 2 decades. Give it full sun and well-drained soil, resist the urge to harvest early, and that one planting session feeds you for 20 years. Few things in a garden pay back like that. Next is rhubarb. People mistake it for a fruit because of how we eat it, but it's a vegetable, and it's one of the toughest perennials you can grow. A single rhubarb crown produces for 15 to 20 years, sending up those thick red stalks every spring with almost no help from you. And here's the bonus. Rhubarb actually needs cold winters to thrive. So if you garden somewhere with hard winters where a lot of perennials struggle, rhubarb is built for you. One warning, and it's an important one. The stalks are what you eat, but the leaves are toxic. Eat the stalks, compost the leaves, and you're set for decades. The third long-term anchor is the artichoke. In Zone 7 and warmer, artichokes come back year after year, producing those large, edible flower buds. And a single established plant can yield dozens of buds a season and keep going for 5 to 7 years. They also happen to be one of the most striking plants you can put in a garden, tall and silver-leaved, so they earn their space twice over. In colder zones, you can still grow them as perennials with some winter protection over the crown. Those three, asparagus, rhubarb, artichoke, are the foundation. The decades-long investments. But the real surprise is how many perennial vegetables fill your salad bowl, not just your asparagus bed. That's the next group, and it's where most gardeners have no idea what they've been missing. Most people assume leafy greens are the most fleeting crop in the garden. Sow lettuce, cut it, watch it bolt, sow again. But some of the best salad greens are perennial. Plant them once, and you have a salad bar that reopens every spring on its own. Start with sorrel. Hardly anyone grows it, and once you do, you wonder why it isn't in every garden. It's a leafy green with a bright, tangy, almost lemony flavor that wakes up a salad or a soup, and it's nearly indestructible. It tolerates poor soil, grows in partial shade, and comes back every year for 6 years or more. From early spring through fall, you've got fresh, tart greens with no replanting. Then there's sea kale. It sounds fancy, it isn't. It's a true perennial that pushes up tender shoots in spring that taste remarkably like asparagus, and it does double duty as an ornamental, with blue-green leaves and clouds of white flowers. Drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and productive for 8 to 10 years from one planting in a sunny, well-drained spot. Good King Henry is an old European vegetable making a quiet comeback, and it's almost unfair how much it gives you. The leaves cook up like spinach, the young shoots eat like asparagus, the flower buds are edible too. 3 vegetables in one perennial plant, and it tolerates shade better than almost anything else here. So it's the answer for that frustrating dim corner where nothing productive will grow. If you love arugula but hate resowing it every few weeks, Turkish rocket is your plant. It's a perennial version of that peppery green, a little more bitter, a little tougher, and essentially unkillable. It returns every spring and produces almost year-round in mild climates. Caucasian Asian spinach is the climber of the group. It's a perennial vine that throws out spinach-like leaves all season on a trellis, and unlike true spinach, it shrugs off summer heat instead of bolting and turning bitter. It dies back in winter and returns from its roots every spring. Productive, vertical, and once established, completely hands-off. 2 more leafy perennials worth knowing, both in the cabbage family, both propagated from cuttings rather than seed. Dobbinton's kale is a true perennial kale. Most kale is biennial, but this one doesn't bolt to seed, so it pours all its energy into leaves you can harvest nearly year-round for years. And tree collards take that idea further. Perennial collards that grow into tall, woody plants over several years, producing edible leaves continuously in mild climates. They can live a decade or more. Because neither sets seed, you grow more plants by snapping off a cutting and rooting it. So one plant quietly becomes a whole supply. That's your perennial salad bowl. Now let's talk flavor, because some of the most useful perennials in any garden aren't the main course. They're the seasonings. Chives are so common that people forget they're perennial. Plant them once and they divide, multiply, and return every spring forever, giving you mild onion-flavored greens and edible purple flowers. They thrive in containers, along borders, tucked between other plants, and they ask for nothing in return. Garlic chives are the close cousin. Flat leaves, a gentle garlic flavor instead of onion, white flowers instead of purple. Just as perennial, just as low maintenance, but they prefer warmer weather, so they pick up where regular chives slow down. Leaves, flowers, and buds are all usable, and they'll gently naturalize, filling in bare spaces on their own. Then there's the strangest and most charming onion of the bunch, Egyptian walking onions. Instead of flowering normally, they form little clusters of bulbs at the top of their stalks. Those top-set bulbs grow heavy, the stalk bends over under the weight, and the bulbs plant themselves wherever they land. So the patch slowly walks across your bed, season after season. You harvest both the underground bulbs and the top sets, and they multiply endlessly. Plant them once, and you may genuinely never buy onions again. And finally, lovage. Celery's overachieving cousin. It tastes like a stronger, deeper celery, but grows as a massive perennial herb that returns bigger every year and lives for decades. You use the leaves, stems, and seeds in cooking, and a single plant is usually more than enough for a whole family because it gets large. Plant it once in a back corner where it has room, and it may well outlive you. So far, every plant I've named is one you'd want to encourage. But the next group comes with a warning, because a couple of these perennials are so vigorous that the real challenge isn't getting them to grow, it's stopping them from taking over your entire garden. The next two plants are powerhouses, productive, tough, and almost impossible to kill. That last part is exactly the problem. Horseradish is the perennial that simply will not quit. Plant a single root and you'll have horseradish for life. It tolerates poor soil, needs no care whatsoever, and produces those pungent roots you grate into that sinus-clearing condiment. But that vigor cuts both ways. Horseradish spreads aggressively, and the smallest piece of root left in the ground regrows into a new plant. So be deliberate about where you put it. Many gardeners grow it in a buried container or a dedicated bed, well away from everything else, precisely so it can't march across the garden. Plant it somewhere you're happy to have it forever, because forever is roughly how long it stays. Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes, are the same story in a different shape. They're perennial tubers with a nutty, slightly sweet flavor, and they grow tall like the sunflowers they're related to, topped with bright yellow blooms in late summer. They are ridiculously productive. Plant a few tubers and they multiply like crazy underground. And there's the catch. They multiply so well they can take over a bed completely, because any tuber you miss at harvest becomes next year's plant. Grow them where you don't mind them spreading or contain them firmly. Treated with respect, they're one of the most generous, low-effort food sources you can grow. Treated carelessly, they're a lifelong tenant. Now a smaller group worth knowing about, but only if you have the right conditions, because these aren't for every garden, and I'd rather be honest than have you waste a season. Watercress is a perennial, but it genuinely wants wet feet. If you have a boggy spot, a pond edge, or a constantly damp corner where nothing else will grow, watercress will thrive and give you peppery, nutrient-dense greens for years. Without that consistent moisture, though, it struggles. So this one's a perfect fit for a specific problem, and a poor fit for a normal dry bed. Ramps, wild leeks, are the prize of the foraging world, with a devoted following for their garlicky, oniony flavor. But they're slow and particular. They want shade and rich, moist woodland soil, and they take years to establish from seed into a permanent colony. If you have a shaded, wooded corner and the patience to wait, ramps reward you with one of the most sought-after wild vegetables there is. If you don't, this isn't your plant, and that's fine. And one more genuine curiosity for the brassica lovers. 9-star perennial broccoli. Yes, perennial broccoli exists. Instead of one big head, it produces several small, creamy white heads each year, and keeps going for about 5 years. It's slower to establish than annual broccoli, but once it's settled in, you're harvesting without replanting. So that's the full picture. The long-term anchors, the perennial greens, the everlasting seasonings, the vigorous spreaders, and the specialists. Which brings me to the most important advice in this entire video. Do not try to plant all of these. That's the mistake people make when they get excited. They order 20 different perennials, plant them badly, and lose half. Don't do that. Pick 3. Just 3. Choose them based on what actually fits: your climate zone, your space, your sun, and what you genuinely like to eat. If you've got room and patience, asparagus and rhubarb are almost everyone's best starting pair, because the payoff is enormous and the plants are forgiving. Add a third that suits your situation. Chives for a container, sorrel for shade, sunchokes if you've got a wild corner to give them. Then plant them this season. Give them the year or two they need to establish, and watch what happens. Because here's the shift that takes a few seasons to fully feel. Every spring, while everyone around you is back at the garden center buying the same seedlings they bought last year, prepping the same beds, doing the same work, your asparagus is already pushing up spears. Your rhubarb is already unfurling. Your chives are already green. You did the work once. The garden does the rest, every year, on its own. That's the real lesson here. The most sustainable, lowest cost, lowest effort garden isn't the one you rebuild every spring. It's the one that quietly rebuilds itself, getting richer and more productive the longer you leave it alone. A handful of the right perennial vegetables, planted once, can turn a yearly chore into a permanent food source that asks almost nothing of you in return. So this season, before you order another flat of annual seedlings, set aside one corner of your garden for something permanent. Pick your 3, get them in the ground, and start building a garden that feeds you for the next 20 years, instead of just the next 20 weeks. If this opened your eyes to a whole different way of growing food, and you're ready to plant something that comes back on its own, type the word GROW in the comments and hit the like button. It tells me to keep making these, and it helps the channel reach other gardeners tired of starting over every single spring. Pick 3, plant once, harvest for years. I'll see you in the next one.